Hi, this is Joe from Beards, Blades, and Hair, and today I'm going to show you how to line up your cheeks using a straight razor. Which straight razor? Well, we're going to use the Westerbros Fraternity. So you can see Westerbros on this side, and then if we flip it over, on this side, you can see where it says Fraternity. Pretty cool. If you notice on the side of the blade or the sides of the blade that it's got some oil on it, that's mineral oil. When you're not going to use your straight razor for about a week or so in order to protect it, my recommendation is to take a little bit of mineral oil, put it on a cotton swab, and then just wipe it all over. Don't wipe against the blade, but wipe across the blade to make sure that it just doesn't get any rust in it if you're not going to use it for an extended period of time. So there's some mineral oil in that in order to protect it. To tell you a little bit more about this straight razor, it is a 5/8 razor. It has a square point. When we say point for a straight razor, we mean this over here at the end. And so it's square. You can see it just it flattens out. And other facts include that it was made sometime between 1904 and 1967. I am not exactly sure when, but sometime in that time frame. It's a pretty cool little thing. So we'll line up our beard with this. 5/8 is a good place to start for anyone touching a straight razor for the first time because it's right in the middle. Anything smaller like a 3/8, it's just a little tough to maneuver. And then a 6/8 or 7/8, it's tough to get those like certain spots. So 3/8, it's hard to control. 6/8, 7/8, you're really having trouble getting into certain spots. So it's definitely something to keep in mind if you're gonna try straight razor shaving. And while we're at it, you can definitely use just your, creamed goo Gillette out of a can, but my recommendation is since we're doing a traditional shave here, let's just go full boat. We have a shaving brush with us. This is from Art of Shaving. It's about 6 years old. The logo's worn off. I lose bits and pieces of hair, but it ain't bad. I'm still going strong after all this time. I'm gonna run the water so that it gets a little bit hot here, and then we're gonna soak the brush in the hot water. And then what we're going to do is, rather than leaving it sopping hot, we're going to give it a little squeeze, and that little squeeze will leave enough water in it for it to be able to make our lather without it being just completely soaked and wet and kind of making a sloppy mess on us. So the water's heated up, so we're going to soak it in, and then you're going to see when we take it out, we're just going to give it a little squeeze so that it's, might still drip a little bit here and there, but that's totally fine. And then the soap that I'm using today, I cannot figure out, and this just goes to show you how long soap lasts. A little bit of it, but since we're only lining up our cheeks, you just frankly don't need that much, and it'll last you forever. I haven't bought soap. It's been 4 or 5 years now. It's just I go through it so little because, like I said, all I'm doing is my cheeks, so it definitely doesn't do much. And then if you can see here, this is how you make the lather. I mean, obviously, if you have a bigger puck, you'll have more space to do it in, but that's it. You wet the shaving brush, you make sure that it's not dripping wet, and then you just run it along there until you get enough lather. You can see that it lathers up on you, and then you just go on the cheeks. This will help lift the hairs as well as get your skin ready to deal with the abuse you're about to put it through. Oh, and I just squeezed the end of it to get all the extra cream off of it, so we can make sure we're getting every last drop in order to protect our skin from the blade. You can see I kind of take that extra cream and I don't waste a drop. And that's, I guess, how you make it last for 6 years or so, is you just don't waste any of it. And so once you've got your cream off, I usually rinse the hands. And then a lot of people recommend you don't rinse the blade whenever you're using a straight razor, simply because you could bang it on your sink, or and you don't want to, since these are carbon steel rather than stainless steel, they tend to rust a lot easier. And so I definitely take that advice to heart, but I have not gone through the effort or hassle of getting a there's like these little rubber circle things. There's probably someone leave a comment and tell me exactly what that's called. But there's a little rubber circle thing that you can essentially use to rub off your lather. So you take it and you go zoop, 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 and instead of running it under the sink and risking banging it into something and making the whole thing wet, you use one of those. I have not invested in one of those. I'm typically a shower shaver, so that wouldn't make a lot of sense for me. But for demonstration purposes, I'm definitely going to show you the straight today. So the way you want to hold it is you want to have 2 fingers on the blade side with where the blade is on top, 1 thumb below, and then you want to put your ring finger holding onto this little hook here. You can see the little hook right there. So that way you have good control of it. Honestly, once you get to a point where you're fiddling and trying to get little things, you'll see me hold this all kinds of ways to get the right angle, but this is your good basic holding motion for or hand position for a straight razor. So let's dive in. You want to pull the skin taut. Remember, you don't have anything like either a cartridge razor or a traditional safety razor that's pulling the skin for you. That's part of the mechanism of that razor. For a straight razor, you have to do that yourself, so make sure you always pull. And then you want to, no pressure, very lightly, let the blade do all the work. You want to press it against at, and this may not come through in the camera, but just a slight little turn of an angle. Just a slight little turn. That's it, and you can try to see if that comes across whenever I'm shaving. So I just do one with the grain and one against the grain. So let's go with the grain first. That's it. We've gone with the grain on one side. So give it a little rinse, and then hit the other side. I'm gonna have to lean over here because I don't have a mirror to see unless I lean over. So apologies on the awkward angle on this one. All right. Awesome. So you can kind of see we've gotten both sides. I've definitely, my lather was a little drier than I would like, so I do have some dry lather on the side of it. If you need to clean it off, always go like this against the blade rather than with it, or you'll cut your finger, which would be bad. All right, so once we got that going, we want to do a second lather so that we can go against the grain. So what I typically do is, you bring up the hot water again. I'm going to close the straight for now. And hit it with some heat in the hot water. So same thing, just douse the thing, and then same thing, drain it all out, give it a squeeze. Give it a squeeze so that all the water comes out and so it's not dripping anymore. And then you want to re-lather. Typically, re-lather is a lot better than the initial lather. My guess on that one is that once you have the shaving soap, wet, it really kind of loosens itself up, and so it just lathers a heck of a lot easier. So you want to make sure. Oops. Wouldn't be a Beards, Blades, and Hair video without me dropping something, so check your bingo cards, folks. Do that, and then whoops, or banging the mic. There we go. We're gonna hit all my highlight points today. Banging the mic, dropping things, love it. So I usually top off with cream on my hands and fingers and make sure everything's covered. And then this is the one that takes a lot more precision because the downstroke, you're really just getting the meat of the hairs off, but this is where you really line it up. This is where everything kind of comes together and you are actually going to look super nice. So I told you the technique on the way up, how to hold it. On the way down, you're holding it like this. You're holding it like this. On the way up, typically start like this, kind of an inverted frame here. And I'm just trying to hold the blade as steady as I can as I go against the grain. All right, so once I go give it an upstroke, and if you're wondering how to like determine where the line is, just give yourself some breathing room. Obviously you can't really see it super well when there's cream on it, but as long as you give yourself a little bit of breathing room, you can do the perfect lineup later. So I got the meat of it going down, going up, and then this is where you really dial it in and you get every little hair you want. So I'm gonna have to lean in. I'm usually really close, so we're gonna have to get in real close here. So as you can see, you really got to get in there and be very precise. You can see me hesitate a little bit too. So let's do the other side, which is hopefully a little bit easier. Wipe that off. Get the line perfect. That was easier. There we go. Give it a little rinse. Make sure you get all the excess hair off of there. I am going to add, may already be up on the channel next when you're looking, but I am going to add a video of me stropping so I can show you kind of next steps on this. But yeah, so that's how you line up your cheeks using a straight razor. So this has been Joe from Beards, Blades, and Hair, and until next time.